it's Steve Yorty again. This is my HO scale Reading layout, and I was up here a few days and put in a fair amount of work, mostly track work. So where I'm at right now is the front of the layout. I'm going to come into this so-called Milton Industrial section. I have the businesses in place here, and I put in all the side tracks for the switching of cars for these various industries here. American Car and Foundry, this Milton Iron Works, and then I have a switch going this way to this clothier company, and this switch here crosses and goes to these two industries. One's a flour mill, and one is the Chef Boyardee food processor. So there should be a lot of interesting switching in this amalgamation of rail lines here. We'll see how it goes. I was running trains earlier just for fun, running some different engines I hadn't run in a while. And these particular ones on here ran pretty well. This is a Chesapeake, Ohio, Malle articulated 2662 with a short train. And I had 3 trains running on here earlier and trying to keep them out of the way of each other. Over here I was running this Erie Heavy 210-2. I think it's a USRA Heavy 210-2. That was doing pretty well. But anyway, back to the layout here. So I've got the basic sidings in Milton. And that only actually took a few hours to do that. The main bulk of my efforts were this double-sided staging yard, which, as you can see, I've got the majority of the tracks in. This left side of the staging yard, probably from about just the corner there down, represents the yard at West Milton, Pennsylvania, where my father grew up, and my grandmother was there till she passed in 1993. This is the main street of West Milton. That's the West Milton Depot that I scratch built. That's the old roundhouse I used to go into when I was a kid, which I scratch built. And there were a lot of houses and so on. The track peeling off to the right there is actually the main line track of the Reading, which went to Sunbury, Shamokin, and so on, into the coal fields. I believe it was actually double tracked. I only put one in. And then the Catawissa branch across the Susquehanna into Milton, which the bridge is still there, as I mentioned, used by the North Shore Railroad. So this, in its day, was a fairly busy engine terminal. Got some locomotives sitting here. It's an Atlantic Camelback, a Russian Decapod. It's a 460 Camelback, or rather, that's a 280 Class I-8 Camelback. I just was running this one earlier. It's a a Pennsy L1 Mikado. Got that T1 here sitting in a Reading 462 Pacific sitting here. But so all these tracks, this will be track 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They're all going to be electrically isolated, and I have not actually wired them in yet, but each one I want to be able to attach it to a switch so I can apply or shut off power depending on what train's there staged to operate. And this is a very long yard. The majority of my freight cars now I've just put into this yard and on the layout, and there's a lot of track that's not even filled. It's pretty large yard. It starts to come back together here. Now we're down to a total of 5 tracks, main line plus 4 tracks. And it comes down here. In this section, we're in the town of Tamaqua. This is going to be Tamaqua, Pennsylvania eventually. That's the depot of Tamaqua. And then the yard ladder comes here back down to single track. I was having fun with this locomotive too. This is I believe it's a Proto 2000, class Y62882. This thing is really beautiful and runs really nice. So I was running that, but when I tried to hook the track up after I was done building the staging yard, I found out that I had a short circuit, and that was just an absolute nightmare. I tried isolating different sections of the layout because it's in several different blocks. I could not figure it out, and finally it came to me. And I remember reading something in a book about some of these older turnouts. So it just so happens, stupidly, I put in this turnout, which, as you can see, metal tab on the point rails, uninsulated frog. And so what I was doing was causing a short circuit. It short-circuited the whole layout because power was being fed from this track here and this track here, which were live. And if you feed the power from what they call the frog end, it will short circuit, and that's what it did. So all I did was I cut some gaps in the track, 1, 2, and 3. You can see I already had an insulated joiner here. Did that, everything works flawlessly. So I may need to pull out that turnout. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. So in some of my other videos, I'd shown some of these brass engines and so on that unfortunately I've had a little bit of trouble with some of them, and after I put in decoders and so on. This engine here, 1723, which is a Mikado, that actually runs very good, but it does hesitate when it hits certain turnouts. So I think the problem there, I'm probably going to have to put a keep alive circuit in that. This little 460 that I had shown, it's not getting good pickup at all, so I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board on that one. It just does not seem to be getting adequate power. And then the 1739 kind of works, but again, it's showing a lot of hesitancy, and it's starting and stopping a lot. So I don't know if there's the wheels may need cleaned again or something, because this was basically an identical job to this one, and this one here doesn't run bad. But in any event, all 3 of these probably are going to need a keep alive type circuit put in them, and with some of these other ones like this 304 here, that probably will, and this 1530 may as well. So I guess it's just one of the frustrating things with these older models. I don't really know what else to do, but if the momentary shorts are fixed, they should run fine. So anyway, that's kind of where the layout is right now. That's the town of Milton here, industrial section, so to speak. And then this will be the town of West Milton. And I'm hoping over in the Tamaqua, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do in the back section there. It may just be fields and so on. And in Tamaqua here, I'll probably, my next step, I think, other than keeping working these engines, is get all this underneath lighting in. Right now it's just hot wired in. I've got to get some wire to do that properly. But all the lights are there. They just need to be all wired into one circuit. So anyhow, thanks for watching that. I think electrical work's probably my next major field of endeavor, so to speak. But hopefully it's coming along slowly but surely. It sure does take a lot of time and a lot of work. So thanks for checking in, and have a nice day.